the street is mentally retarded.
Good morning. Isn't that beautiful? By the way, thank you very much for that record. I do really appreciate that. I hope you, I bet they're loud. Well, I hope you're not as tired as I am because, I think it's after 10 o'clock. I just got out of bed. I seem to have spent a very enjoyable weekend with a very wonderful person. Uh, I'm just trying to think of what we've done, where we've been, and I hope by the end of the week we're going to find out what we've accomplished. And I'm going to be meeting with uh, the kids like we had spoke about, and I hope that things will develop from there. I'll keep you posted as much as I possibly can on this. I hope you're not a nervous wreck by now. I am. I'll try and remember where we were. Like say, oh, our new hosting deal, that was real nice. That's our biggest crowd. Chilton was pretty good. Um, I think that if we get the kids, we didn't speak to the high school in the hosting, and I'm afraid that we're going to have to work on a solo flight on that thing. If we can get the kids from Chilton interested, to get the New Holstein kids interested, I think that we can develop a complete board of these kids so that we can get the St. Coletta's choir up here. I don't think there's any problem there. In fact, I know there's no problem. I never have any problems. It's other people, like Trudy Lattin. That's a beautiful song. Someday you ought to save your money, kid, and go to see that. It's a beautiful place. I've seen any number of pictures on it. I've seen movies on it. In fact, when I was working at St. Mary's in Menasha, our Monsignor Becker made any number of visits there, and I put his slides together. They're beautiful. Hey, Maria. Isn't that gorgeous? Did you ever have any Latin in your life in high school or anything? It's a beautiful language. I already had talked to Mr. Mathy. Dear Gil. I got him before he went on the road and explained we had a wonderful weekend and I enjoyed you tremendously, and I'm not lying. I'm sitting in my chair with a tremendous backache. Actually, I can't speak to you very well because I'm listening to this. This is the first I've played it. I have to keep my mind on both places. It's difficult. I hope you'll stop over again sometime. And by the way, I said I talked to Mr. Mathy. Then after that, I had called Madison. I'll be there Monday. How nice. I'm glad you're going to be glad that I'm there because you probably gone. That's par for the course. I told Kay that I expected you to take me out to dinner to the nearest hamburger stand because I don't guess I want to be dressed up. I've had 2 days of it. That's too many days. Like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You gotta be kidding. I've got to go to Appletown today and get me some kitty litter. My basement is like cluttered up. So I shall clean that out. And tomorrow I shall be on the golf course. And of course, I have to pick up some literature for Mrs. Cepeda there. That's my one dropping off point, How nice. That's nice to have all these dropping off points. I'm smoking a cigarette and it's killing me. So, I hope you made out real good in Fond du Lac. And if I get time, I'll stop over to see Viola. And I'm also starting a campaign on the daycare center. I've notified a few parents already. So I'm in hopes that we can interest some of these parents in getting hold of this. And I'm also going to get our records of what we had signed with Probstein. I don't know whether we've got a release on the both, post, pre and post schoolers. And I'm going to find this out because this is a very serious situation. And I've called two parents to the idea of taking their children to the board meeting. These people have never seen retarded children. They've spoke about it. And you know how this is going. And like Dolores told you about these people being members of our association, they have never once attended a meeting. How in the devil can we have uh, three people from our organization who don't attend? In fact, I have people that had held office for a few years, and I think that these would be the ones to put on the daycare center board because not only are they parents of retardees, but they've got a good backing on this thing, and I know I could work with them very close. But as far as myself going on there, honey, I got a lot of stuff to do. In fact, this morning I've been on the phone uh, with the Girl Scout office. I'm connected with their fund drive. I've got Red Cross campaigns coming in. I work with that. If we've got a sick family in our township, I have to see that they're supplied with junk. And I usually help them out because, there's so many things in life that are free, honey. And trying to earn my way to heaven. St. Peter knows that. St. Jude's got my release, but he doesn't want to at least hand it in just yet. But one of these days he will. Come on, get off, get off, get off. Gee, that's a lousy record you give me. It won't even come off the last marker. There, we're flipping them now. Well, let's see now what we can do here. Oh, no, shut off now. Oh, yeah, it will. Oh no, just keep going now here. Just, don't shut off. Well, I'll be jiggered. Next sound you will hear is my finger tapping on the record. There we go. The piano. Boy, that cough's going to kill me. You know what? Oh, I just know it's going to get me. Say, you were mentioning that you enjoy housework an awful lot. Well, I got news for you. I'm not about to clean out this den. So someday, when you feel that you've got the urge and the ambition and all that stuff that goes with it, why don't you? I gotta light this cigarette. Why don't you just try and get up here and clean it out for me? I'm sure nobody's feelings are gonna be hurt. I mean, not mine anyway, because we need it cleaned, Cigarettes. Cigarettes without wild women isn't no fun, you know that? Well, I talked to Kay about all your stuff here that you wrote down. I do save all these slips, I'm a very conscientious person. After all, I'm gonna burn the kitchen up because it's too dirty to clean right now. One way of getting rid of it. Now here we got all this stuff. So I've already mentioned about this stuff, and I'll be down there Monday. If Hugh leaves for work early, so if I start out around 7 here, should be down there about. Oh, but that's early. I should get down there around 9 o'clock or something like that, and I want to get the stuff. But then I'm going to come back, and I also spoke to them about our fun stuff. Maybe Jackie would have that ready for me. seeing if she's as kind as everybody says she was or is, and then I'll have that ready because I don't like last minute stuff, and then we can save on postage, and I'll get Bev posted on this stuff. No, Mrs. Horn in Brilliant, and Mrs. Wenzel in New Holstein, and if we can line it up, and of course they're both very green at fund drives. Uh, I sound like a very talented and overbearing person, but this stuff to me is very important. It gets out the right way. They have to sing a song I like. Isn't that nice? Isn't that cute? Our Girl Scouts used to sing that. I want to divide my house, kid, so when you come, you can just park in the living room. Isn't that too bad? Woo! um, the more I hear this record, the more I'm determined to get them up here. We're going to start a press release on it already. That there is a possibility, and I'll be. If you call me on this hotline sometime, then I'll have more stuff out, and I'm going to try and contact Alice down in Stockbridge, and I'll be contacting these other jokers, and I'll get this thing lined up. I don't like grass under my feet, by the way. But oh, kid, how in the devil do you run this gauntlet you're on, this rat race? Because oh, geez, I can't put up with it. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm going to put my brace on after a while before I go to town. Oh God, there's times I'd like to travel with you, really. And then again, but I like my rest. So while you're talking, I'm going to sleep. As God is my judge, I'm going to sleep. But I hope that it's definite that you're going to slow down around the 15th or the 17th of November, whenever it is, because I think you and Ray ought to get together and just really get the hell out of here for a while. And I'm going to keep an eye on this Sheboygan thing. You told me that I should get on to that meeting and that I wouldn't be known. I got news for you, sweetheart. I stood up at that meeting in Jericho like a sore thumb and welcomed everybody there, and they know who Mary Leader is. And the only way they maybe wouldn't know me is if I took your face. And I don't think that's very easy to get, so if I get on there, it'll have to be that they know me, but I'm going to just find out a few things for myself. Of course, if they know who you are, you're not going to find out too much. You have to go in there as a... of course, I can get information out of anybody. I got big ears. I can listen to anybody. So, I don't know. I just hope and pray everything works out all right. But I think if we get these kids working, get these on this St. Claudius Choir, we're going to be able to arouse enough curiosity from the public and from the children themselves that there's a possibility that we could be running a center on a Saturday afternoon. I would like to see that the kids, and I'll supervise it. I mean, I'll give up a Saturday and I'll supervise, because I'm working on a 4-H project right now for the daycare, and they have fostered this with me for about a year now, but our 4-H agent is on the board of the daycare center, and Chuck and I have worked together on 4-H any number of times, on programs and stuff. And if I can get Chuck to get my junior leaders going in the morning to have the kids there, and if we can have recreation programs for them, maybe sliding parties and tobogganing parties and, hot cocoa and sandwiches and the like that, at dinner time from the 4-H, then I'm sure the high school kids could come and have a program for some of the other children in the afternoon, say a bowling or something, Oh, we can change this around any number of ways because we have kids all over the county, and transportation is our one big draw line here. And we're going to have to get into the insurance program on this thing and find out. I have carried very high insurance on my cars for years because of transporting Girl Scouts, so I've never taken it off, and I maintain this, and I will, because with the children, you've got to watch yourself. And also, I'll be meeting with the J-Sets in Brillion one of these days to line up our bowling program over there with them. So we've got, Trudy, we've got any number of the organizations pulling for us. Not only do I have the American Legion, I have their council, which is the county association, and they work with us. The BPW, the businesswomen in Calumet County, are with us. They're dividing their funds. There's a dinner being held on the 2nd or 1st of November down here in Sherwood at a dinner, and I will be one of their guests, and I'm going to explain a few things there because, boy, this year I got the backing, and I'm going to do more than my share of explaining because these people have to be aware of what we're going to be doing. In fact, my officers don't even know. I'm like Trudy Lattin. I don't even know where I'm going from now. But I'm going to get this thing organized so that we will have, well, we've got public awareness out here in Calumet County. Don't ever worry about it, kid. Believe me, after your little talk, and we've got our good publicity, so we don't have to worry about anything. But we're going to get more of the organizations and stuff in there. But, if you get enough of them going and spread it out thin enough, you're going to have this thing going for quite some time. And say we get 9 months out of this thing. We have Viola's camp in the summertime, and then we're going to have the J-Sets camp starting up because I've got camping back of me. I've done program work in camping, and I can live in the out of doors for weeks because I've done it any number of summers. In fact, as sick as I was, and even with my cane and stuff, I went to camp, and I stayed there for 2 weeks on a day and stay program. We ate out. We were in the rain, and I have arthritis real good. Oh, this and I get along very famously. And it rained I don't know how many days, and then we had heat, and we had our tents in the thickest part of the woods. Believe it or not, honey, it still got hot down there, boy. We didn't have any breeze to really, They threw me in the river. First bath I had in 9 days. Nothing else, I at least looked clean when I came home. Those kids are really good on this record. They are very, very good. If you've never done anything else in your life, honey, you've done real good on this record. I'll back you all the way. But I'm going to try and get going on this thing and see once. I got a lot of ideas going. It's just to get them down and start working them. Of course, we've got this thing going. We've got to let them talk about this for this week yet, and or maybe Friday I can get some of these kids going because young people can hear things today and tomorrow. It's like a year ago you mentioned it. See, this is not my way of doing things. So if we keep this going, I'm sure that we've got our made. We got our made real good. Believe me, we have. But it just keeps it going on this. So I'll let you know from time to time what's going on. Something, I kind of miss you. You're the type of a person that once you know you're a pretty darn nice gal, but I hope you're going to start knowing yourself pretty soon. And then you're... Gee, they got beautiful voices. That's the best therapy these kids can ever have, is that singing, you know what? I talked to Kay about this program, about the councils, the student councils taking over, and that because of room, where we could keep them, and the finance of feeding them and everything, is going to be terrific. And I said, if we can get the student councils in the area to spread this around, that we could take maybe one or two kids here and there. And in fact, my God, one student council alone could keep these kids. But if we take them throughout the county, and take them home, and when the kids get back together again, they've got something to talk about. They also have say, well, I stayed here in this town, I stayed in that town. These people showed me this, and I saw that. And from what you had mentioned, that these kids are from California, well, all over. Well, just think what they have to tell their parents, that they have stayed in homes of normals. And this type of habilitation is something. I think that we started something here, if we could just, and I'd like to see Calumet County as a first, maybe we can interest this thing in some other counties. Our Girl Scout program has got something on this integration deal. They have these Negroes from Chicago coming up here into our council, and of course we have no blacks around here, and the people feel we don't want them. Well, they're bringing them in, and of course Hugh has no use for the Negro, and I can tolerate just about anything. They've got to do me wrong first, and they've got to really do me in before I can say I don't want them around. So I think that if we would just kind of switch this around, Trudy, and get a program interested here, and you really hit the kids, but you hit them like this. I've been getting the repercussions. It's Trudy Lattin, her eye. She's feeling sorry for the things that she's done, and she's interesting everybody else in this thing. You really struck them. Believe me, kid, you got them laying in the aisles, as they say. But, I've never known a person like you with such a theatrical program. And yet, I'd like to know the more human Trudy, and I know there is one. And I'm in hopes to really get to know this human Trudy one of these days. And I'm sure that when you kind of get a hold of yourself, your speeches are going to be 10 times better than they are now. Because I know you can do it. But you've got to get a little more of this pressure off of you, and do what the doctors tell you. You only have one life to give us, kid. That's a pretty valuable one. We wouldn't want to lose you for anything. So, see what you can do to kind of get yourself on your feet. And please be good to that husband of yours. My goodness gracious, he's quite a tremendous asset to this thing, If it would be worth it, I'd like to see you stay home from the conference, because there you're in again. You're gonna wear yourself out, Trudy. You're gonna give everything you've got, and you're gonna be so physically exhausted that you're no good to anybody. I know you like to run on a high wire. I know yesterday you were running on this everlastingly keel. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Because, when you were so calmed down the other night, we enjoyed each other. We sat and talked at night. We had our coffee. And in the morning, at Stockbridge, you gave, to me, was one of the nicest speeches you had given. That one in Stockbridge, I think, was one of your nicest ones out of all of them. Because, Trudy, you were relaxed. You were more yourself then than you were all day. And then a person says one word to you, and you get to thinking, and wham, you're off on a, cloud 6 going east. Cloud 9's reserved. But now Thursday, you're going to be flying to Superior. Well, I hope your blue angels take good care of you. Maybe St. Jude will give you a real special guardian angel. You need somebody to say, Trudy, slow down. Life is a beautiful thing. And I don't think you've had it so bad in your life. You've had a lot of maybe ups and downs, but you've got all your legs, your arms, your children equipped very nicely that way. They got talent. They're self-supporting. You're not so bad off. In fact, you're very fortunate. I've seen paraplegics. These are the ones, they don't run and play. Your kids can run and play. They do a lot of things. You haven't got it so bad, Trudy. God blessed you in a lot of ways. So I hope that if you ever come around, you're more than welcome to that bed in the back room. Who knows, I may not even wash the sheets. How about that? I may get lazy. Hey, if you ever get time coming up before, it gets too many cold days now, we'll play a game of golf. I'll show you what end of the stick to use. Here's your song, kid. Whether near or far away, your fortune's 10 times 10. Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. Every sound you see, sweet tomorrow. That's a good song to listen to, Trudy. Never mind what happened before. Tomorrow is coming. Listen to those words, Trudy, and follow them. Tomorrow, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. Till we meet again. Gee, that's a beautiful record. I think I'll cherish it for an awful long time. I really will. Jeez, I'm a lousy singer. Isn't that awful? I used to sing in a choir. You'd never believe it. Of course, they threw their choir away, too. That's half of why they didn't want me in school anymore. I can't help for with that. I mean, after all, God gave me a lot of things, but boy, that voice. Man, is that off-key. Flatter than the ace of spades on the 4th of July. That's a nice music. That's Ken Griffin, You've heard about Ken Griffin. That's the anniversary waltz. Now that's a nice song. Hey, I got an anniversary coming up one of these days. Believe it or not, 12 long years with one man. Man, that just goes to show how tolerant I am. Patient, loving, and understanding. That's why I like you. I mean, you know, because I'm so patient and understanding. You know, I think your hair got redder by the minute yesterday in that car when you were talking about Viola. I think you got kind of mad at me because I don't respond, you know, to these little whimsical fits of yours. But I'm still laughing. Say if my voice don't sound the same on this tape as, you know, as it was before, it's changed. This is my voice. Yeah. You've heard of Smokey Bear? This is Smokey Mary. I'm on cigarettes, no cigars. I think they're ausgespielt kaputt. Versteh? You've lived in Milwaukee long enough to know that kind of language. You know, that's that ein, zwei, drei, spiel, you know? Would you believe I had relation in Milwaukee? I don't even talk to them. I don't think they talk to me either. That's a nice song. I love music. You know what? I can't do a thing without music. In fact, this tape recorder was bought specifically because it has an extra sensitive soundtrack on it for music, but it also captures the voices of the retarded. We've taped last year in the schoolrooms some of the voices, and in the beginning of the year, and then or say January, and then we retaped them again and made new tapes in May, and the teachers tried different, you know, therapies. Especially we soloed this thing at Forest Junction. Mrs. Labe was a excuse me, my coffee that I didn't drink is coming up on me. Mrs. Labe was a very wonderful person, and she was very good about this. It's surprising what the kids have learned. There was some kids in that room that wouldn't even speak, and they said very few words. I know it's kind of hard speaking into one of these little microphones, and the kids don't know what the heck's coming out of it, but boy, the minute you play that tape back, oh my gosh, their eyes. I think you know what I'm talking about. They're just thrilled. I hope I'm not too hard on you in this tape on a few little segments here, but I really think about you a lot, and you've kind of got to me. I don't think you're going to leave me very quick either. Would you believe I got home at about 20 minutes to 6. I checked in with my secretary. I had to blow the horn, and she knew I was tired. She could tell the way I blew the horn. And I called her this morning, and I checked in. Had a few phone calls, not many. I don't think they were that interesting either. So I started to get supper for Hugh. I drew the water from the faucet, put it in the icebox, put the milk on the table, started to fry up some potatoes. When I put them in the dish, put them in the icebox, Hugh says, put them on the table. I'd like to eat them now when they're warm, not, you know, nothing wrong with me. Does Trudy Lattin ever do that? Oh boy, no wonder Ray's having a fit. I think he's got a better life out there in this maneuvering that he's doing than. Of course, if you don't get that bad, kid, you're in business, you know. But boy, that drive you got, I don't know. It's remarkable. That alone is a gift from God. You know, I can still see your face. Pretty darn nice one. I'm looking at a monkey on the wall here. Oh yes, let me call you sweetheart. See, I used to go to a bar and drink a lot, and I worked in town, when I was younger. In my youth, I did things too, besides getting into other people's hair. Um, and every time we'd go in this place, this guy, he'd plug the jukebox with this song. Yeah, well, I could sing that one in my sleep. My mother used to play this. I told you she was an extremely talented woman with string instruments, guitar, violin, mandolins, piano. Boy, that baby grand used to be going all the time. I don't think she was dead no 4 days and my dad got rid of it. Oh, it's a beautiful big thing, but who wants a big thing around like that? Went to a very nice place. I told you about Gordon. Well, his mother and dad's home was bought by the Golden Agers. And the Golden Agers bought my mother's piano. And it's very nice, that they have it. I think they get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I know my mother had a tremendous amount of enjoyment out of it. I hope when you play this tape that you're going to have enough time to listen to it. Hope you settle down with a nice drink. There's another thing I can't stand is drinking. There's times when it's alright, but oh, I don't know. Drinking is something that maybe some people enjoy, but good Lord, I can't spend the money on it. I can't see drinking and then spending money on an Alka-Seltzer or some fool thing to get rid of the headache or the lousy stomach or, Hey, if you ever get over to Janesville sometime, I guess that's where you said you were going to. I have another cousin that lives over there. She's married to a Dr. David Smith. They have a boy who is blind. He was born, at 5 months. And he's blind. And I think he's deaf. I'm not sure. I shouldn't even say it, but and Alice Ann, from what I have heard, works with the retarded group in Janesville. Whether she does or not, I don't know, but she says she does. She says a lot of things. She always did say a lot of things. You never could believe them, but I give the devil his dues. That's a good song for you and Ray. Together. It's a nice song. You strolled the lane together. No, after the 15th, you'll be doing a lot of strolling together. Yeah, but hey, listen, if I get this tape off to you in time, and if you are around on Monday morning and things go alright here that I can get away, like, a blizzard, would keep me home, icy roads, and stuff like that. Just let me know. I won't come down then. See, you may have snow down there. But if I do happen to get down there and you happen to be home, up and at 'em at this particular hour of the morning, say like 9 o'clock, breeze down to the office with a thermos of coffee, will you please? Not for me. I couldn't stand to see you without this. You're extremely uncomfortable without a cigarette, a cup of coffee, and I wouldn't want to be at at ill ease, that this. I want you more than comfortable. Believe me, I do. Oh boy, my heart's in the right place today. I think I'm sitting on it. Would you believe, like I was trying to tell you, I went to bed at 7 o'clock after I goofed up my husband's supper, I went to bed about 10 to 7. He said I wasn't there no 10 minutes and I was snoring. He had to close the door because the drapes in the living room kept coming in and out all the time. Makes a lot of racket when he wants to read the paper. So then he had to, fetch the animals in, It's a pretty song. And so he does a good job of that. Like he said, he got to bed at 9 o'clock because the animals wouldn't come in. Oh boy, he said, I don't know how you get him in. And I said, just call him, whistle for him. He's whistle. He said he batted the hell out of that one cat. I said, what happened? He said it still wouldn't come in. He doesn't have patience. Takes talent to talk to those cats. So I got up about 2 o'clock, and oh God, I had chest pains and what have you, and I couldn't breathe, and my side was bothering me, and so I figured, well, I'll take some pills. Very seldom I do this. So then I could go back to sleep again, and I did a lot of thinking about Trudy Lattin, though. Tremendous amount of it. Boy, kid, someday I've got to come up with some answers. My happiness. A million years it seems have gone by since we've shared a kiss. Na-da-dum, na-dum. There'll be no blue memories then. Say, I really do pick the nice records for this tape, don't I, though? Oh, brother, do I ever. I haven't got very much farther to go, and I may run this whole sucker right out. How about that? Hope you got an hour to listen to this thing. Or I should say, had at least 45 minutes. I might have about 2 minutes left here. This is about as long as one of your speeches. Yeah, well, that yeah, I remember. Say, if there's ever a quiz program, like music, the name of the songs and stuff like that, and you want to make a mint or something, get a hold of me. I'll split the profit with you. Yeah, well, who knows? We may go to Hawaii, Bermuda. Hey, that's someplace I'm going to go someday is Hawaii. Oh, them little wahinis. He was going to Alaska. Just in case you asked. I mean, would you care to go with him there? He likes the Eskimos, the igloos, and all that blubber and stuff, He thinks that this is going to be very, very nice. Oh, man. He may have something, I don't know. I don't think he's got very much. Not when he wants to go there anyway. Now go to the islands with me, and lay on the beach at Waikiki, and look at the Oahu, and come on now, that's the life, That's what I'm saving up for Social Security so I can go there, lay on the beach. Yeah, look at that old thunderhead or whatever they call it, that their volcano, Can't you see me at the age of 62 laying on the beach? Lead in my ass, gray hair, bifocals, false teeth that I'll lay on the pillow, alongside of me there, because, oh, kid boy, that's the life. Do me a favor. Tip this tape over, or replay it again and send me one back. I'd like to hear your comments on tape. I'll bet you there's some doozies. If you don't have anything else to tell me or anything like that, at least let me listen into one of your hotline conversations. I may learn something. I can always use a splendid idea. I forgot to remember. That's the name of, remember. That's they sung. So I'll try and get a hold of these kids, and I'll work something out with them, and I'll let you know. I don't think I could let you down. Not very hard. I mean,